Hey guys, it's Aaron with Home Repair Hub, and today we're going to be talking about how to properly change out a tub drain. Now the first thing we want to do, we want to remove our overflow plate, and then we can take out the actual stopper. Now whether you choose to use the same style of stopper or whether you go with a pop-up drain assembly, which is what I'm going to be using, I do recommend removing the existing stopper, as I have seen it get really corroded, ends up getting stuck in there, then it actually affects the overflow. So if you can remove it, it's always best to remove it. Now a quick tip, if you do remove the overflow first, make sure you put the new one back in place before removing the drain. If you don't, the drain pipes in behind the tub end up loosening up, and it just makes removing the drain a little bit more difficult. As you'll see, I end up putting the overflow back in place just because of that reason. The other option, of course, would be to remove the overflow after removing the drain. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the actual drain. Now in most cases, you're going to have cross members at the bottom of the tub drain. Now, assuming you do, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers or what's called a tub wrench. I would definitely recommend the tub wrench as it has more points of contact, and I've actually used needle nose pliers before and it snapped the cross members. That being said, if your drain does not have cross members or if you've broken them, you can use a tub extraction tool to actually get it out. And the way that tool works is it digs into the sides of the drain and then it allows you to twist it out. Now, as I said earlier, I do recommend removing the drain first and then removing the overflow. One thing you'll see here is that I ended up putting the overflow cover back on just so that I could tighten the pipes down, so that it makes it just a little bit easier to twist the drain out. Now, once the drain's out, we can go ahead and clean up around it. I found that a sanding sponge tends to work pretty well because if anything's dried in there, it'll kind of get all that out as well. Now, the other thing we want to be aware of when we remove the drain is the style of drain that's used. Is it a fine thread or a coarse thread? As you want to make sure you have the right style, otherwise it probably won't fit. Now, that being said, if you do buy a universal tub drain kit, it will usually have an adapter and it'll fit either style and size. Next, we're going to remove the old washer and install the new washer that came with our kit. Now in my case, I do need the adapter, so I'm going to go ahead and get that installed before I actually install the drain. Now we're going to apply a bead of plumber's putty to the underside of the drain flange. Now if you put too much on, it's not a big deal, as any excess will actually be squeezed out when you tighten it down. Now when putting the drain in, you want to make sure you start by hand tightening the drain just to make sure you aren't cross-threading it. Then tighten it down the rest of the way with your tub wrench. And then once it's hand tight with your tub wrench, take your channel locks or wrench or whatever you got and turn it about another quarter to half turn just to make sure it's snug. You definitely don't want to over tighten it, as it could crack the tub or it could potentially squeeze the gasket out of place underneath the tub. Then we'll go ahead and install the pop-up drain assembly. Now I'm going to go back, remove the old overflow cover and stopper, and then install the new one. Now we'll install the pop-up stopper, and it's really just a matter of screwing it back into the drain.